Venser the Sojourner. Well, the theme of the deck is to utilize and use the first ability, which is to blink all your permanents, and the last ability, which is to ultimate. Once you do ultimate, on the roll. And to support that, which is the theme of the deck, is to blink things, this is my signature spell of choice, Ghostly Flicker. It allows you to blink 2 things at least, or at most. What do we want to blink? Wall of Omens, Defender, draw a card once it comes into play. Elite Guardian, Flying, once it comes to play you gain 3 life and draw a card, and you definitely want to blink that a lot. Seagate Oracle, it doesn't actually make you draw, but it gets around Narset if you ever have to play a Narset in your playgroup. It allows you to still get a card on top of your library and one at the bottom, and you definitely want to blink that as well. So for most of the cantrips, that's pretty much it. I did include one more cantrip, a spell though, which is Brainstorm, and that is to wrap up all my cantrip spells and creatures. What else do I want to blink? Well, Solemn Simulacrum. It's both a fetch for a land, and when it dies, it allows you to draw a card. And of course, Archaeomancer. It allows you to get your blink spells, which we will discuss in a bit, from your graveyard or whatever it is that you need. And then Clone, because it's a clone. It clones pretty much what you need in that situation. Vesper Lark. This allows you to get creatures with 1 power or less from your graveyard to the battlefield whenever it leaves play. So it's a little bit different from Enter the Battlefield, but it still falls under the theme, which what Venser does, which is to blink you once this creature leaves play. It allows you to get creatures with 1 toughness or 1 power below. And what are these creatures? Again, Clone, Archaeomancer, and Wall of Omens. Remember that? And Seagate Oracle. So these are just some of your targets. And the last creature, the biggest one that you wanted to blink, is Sun Titan. So this time, aside from Vesper Lark, which takes out creatures with 1 power or below, this one though, it allows you to get a permanent with 3 mana cost or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And most of my permanents / creatures costs 3 or less. Most of them. So to help our theme, we also need creatures that blinks my creatures. So Soul Herder would be one of them, a very new card. It's a blink on a stick. Every upkeep, it allows you to blink your creature and also put a +1/+1 counter on it. And if ever it dies, you can also bring it back from your graveyard with the help of Vesper Lark earlier. Restoration Angel, if it's not an angel, it will let you blink that creature, and it's also flash and flying and a big creature. So it's kinda doing pretty much everything you wanted to in your deck. And then who else will not use this? Flicker Wisp. It's similar to how Venser ability is, it blinks another target permanent, not just a creature, permanent. And you can bring it back using Sun Titan. Now let's move on to the spells that supports our theme, or that would help Ghostly Flicker in case Venser is not in play, and in case you can't use Ghostly Flicker. We have Momentary Blink. It blinks your creatures and it has flashback. Teferi's Time Twist. It's a new card. It also blinks your permanent, and if it's a creature, it allows you to give it a +1/+1 counter. And the last one is Ephemerate. Exile or blink your creature, it comes back immediately and it has rebound. So it allows you to do it a second time around on your next turn. Things that are not within the theme but I included in the deck. First one is the Detention Sphere. So it's helping you with tokens, and it's reusable in case you need it again, just to blink it with the spells or Venser that we discussed earlier. Mystic Remora, cumulative upkeep 1. It lets me draw a card for as long as my opponent will not pay for, to counter this effect whenever they try to cast any non-creature spells, which is really good. To keep this in the battlefield, yes, I will blink it with Venser or with some of my blink spells if necessary, or if I really need to, but mostly with Venser alone is enough. Or I'll just let it die, then I can bring it back with Sun Titan. Off, my second favorite card in this deck is Panharmonicon. It's an artifact that allows you to double the trigger of all the permanents that has a trigger when it comes into play. So it's really, really nice and fun. Moving on, what do we need to sustain this deck to stay alive and or to keep the important creatures or permanents that we need in play to stay in play? White Mane Lion, it lets you blink. No, it lets you bounce your creature back to your owner's hand, which is you. Which is another way of blink. It's just a little bit more expensive, but it also allows you to save your creature when you need it. Manowar, this time it allows you to blink target creature, so not just your creature but even your opponent's creature. And now, Stonehorn Dignitary. It allows you to stay in play for those who are hostile towards you. So if there's any player that is gunning to kill you, then you can try and let them skip their battle phase or combat phase. Lavinia of the 10th. It detain 4 cost or less. Each permanent your opponent controls that cost 4 or less. And when I say detain, I mean like they can't activate their planeswalker's abilities or anything that falls under 4 mana cost that has an activated ability. No, they can't do that. And the last one is Nevermaker. So this is a delaying tactic that you can do on your opponent's permanents, so you can put it back on top. Oh, except lands, but you can put it back on top of their library, and then boom, yeah, you're basically delaying them. So what else do we have here that would allow us to protect ourselves or to stay in the game, to pull up our theme or our motive? Of course, we need to put on counter spells. Muddle the Mixture is a flexible counter spell because it allows you to transmute, search for a card that is also 2 to cast, deprive, counter spell, memory lapse, unwind, and the new one, Kelvin's Veto. And of course, I don't have much spot removal here, so I have this beautiful Swords to Plowshare as my one of, and also one mass removal, Time Wipe. I chose this card because it also lets you bounce at least one creature, one creature back to your hand. And then the last ones are Impulse. Basically, this is Narset's ability. Lets you find a card that you need. Merchant Scroll, a tutor for a blue instant card. And Vidalcan Aether Mage lets you tutor wizards. Kinda, I have plenty in this deck. And aside from that, we are all good. Now the lands are very basic. You can put on basic lands. If you have dual lands, then sure, put it on. Or put it on the deck. Shock lands, yeah, that's fine, but basic lands are normal. Notable lands that you may want to include: Temple of Enlightenment, because it lets you scry; Tranquil Cove, because it lets you gain 1 life; and Halimar Depths, because it's Halimar Depths. Lets you look at the top 3 of your library. So that's it. Thank you.